Every May, the best of the best bracket racers from around the country and even from around the world gather in Thunder Valley, Bristol, Tennessee for what has become the largest bracket race in the world.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special inside drag racing coverage of the biggest ET bracket race in the world at Thunder Valley Dragway, Bristol International Dragway in Bristol, Tennessee. This is the K&N Filters 5-day spring fling presented by Sparco. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ted Jones, and almost 500 race cars in here to race for 5 days. That's why they call it the 5-day spring fling. Now, one of the reasons there are so many entries is this guy right here. He's a local, actually, from Tazewell, Virginia, who has a special deal with some racers. Your special deal with racers is what?
Well, I sponsor some people from time to time.
Okay, they can't afford the entry fee or don't want to pay it, whatever.
Right.
You'll pay their entry fee, and then what happens?
If I think they have talent, yes.
So they got to be good.
Oh, yes.
A little bit of reputation.
Yes.
Well, there's one guy that paid off for you almost immediately. Tell us that story.
That's been back several years ago. I heard that he needed a sponsorship for the Million, and I put him in the Million. And first time he went to it, he finished in the semifinalists. And so that investment of $2,000, I think his total winnings were $56,000. And I think 2 years after that, I had 5 entries in the Million, and when that got down to 3 cars, 2 of them were mine, and I got $86,000 out of that.
Now, you're here with your own car.
Yes.
This is your car.
Yes.
And you got, what, 5 other guys?
Yes.
That's your sponsor.
Actually, I've got 2 cars here, and I've got 4 other entries besides my 2.
Now, obviously, the obvious question, you run up against one of your own guys. What
I've done
happened?
that before.
What happened?
I've run Tommy Block several times. I'm still waiting to beat him.
Time for the semifinals from Wednesday right now. Gary Williams out of Bradenton, Florida. His digger will go against Mitch Ellison, the local guy from Rogersville, Tennessee. Oh, it's over right there. Gary Williams, 000 reaction, runs dead on with a 5. Ellison not bad with a 0.23, but that's not good enough when you got a 000. And the other matchup, Tommy Cable against Jeremy Hancock. Hancock out of Commerce, Georgia, down by Atlanta Dragway, and Cable out of Maryland. Again, 2 diggers, 006 won't get it done. He breaks out. Tommy Cable takes the win.
Well, you see K&N, of course, that's the sponsor of the K&N Spring Fling 5-Day presented by Sparco here in Bristol, Tennessee. When you see Peak, it gives you a hint because it's a door car. It's not John Force. What about this name, Fletcher? You don't know Timothy Fletcher? Well, it's a 1090 car, but it's owned by and driven this weekend by Dan Fletcher, who has over 90 NHRA National Championship wins.
Yeah, how about me? This is a great race. I mean, Peter Biano and Kyle Seipel just put together a fantastic program here. It's a great opportunity to race every single day. You know, I make my living at NHRA events, but this was just an opportunity to come and race for 5 days in a row and have lots of chances, and I can lose with the best of them, so I can lose every day and get to race the next day. Forecast in Commerce wasn't that great. I know here when they drive the track, we're going to run sportsmen, not pros, and it was a tough call because I planned on coming here for Wednesday and Thursday and then going to Commerce, but I decided ultimately to stay here and enjoy the bracket races.
And the money's pretty good.
The money's awful good. Lord knows I probably won't get any of it, but I'm going to try. So.
Now, wait a minute. Yeah, I understand you're a door car. For some reason, they say door cars are disadvantaged. I've never quite figured that out.
Well, it's all just, the faster cars got the advantage. You're chasing the races all in front of you, easier to judge. I didn't think I had a real slow door car, but when I come here, I got a real slow door car. It's amazing how fast everyone's cars are, how well they run, how good everyone drives. Like I say, I'm a knife at a gunfight, but I'm going to try my best.
Okay, so what's with the Timothy Fletcher? This is Dan's son's car, the 1090 car. By the way, Dan has 6 race cars. Of course, most of them super stockers and stockers, because that's where he has won all of his NHRA events.
All right, now we're ready for finals from Wednesday. Gary Williams and Tommy Cable. This should be great. 2 diggers going, not door cars. 007 for Gary Williams, and that's all he needs, running dead on with a 6. Gary Williams is your winner for Wednesday.
It's really neat to win this big of a race here with all the coverage and stuff. We don't get a lot of coverage bracket racing, but it's one of the neatest things, have all these people behind you like Overkill and Mosier and FTI and Mickey Thompson Tires and Quick Fuel and all that stuff that really helps a lot to make it get here. But for us to stand on this stage and be able to stand up here in front of the camera and all really helps all of our stuff come true for us.
Inside Drag Racing is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology, and by K&N, the world's best air filter, and by Sparco, motorsports safety equipment and car accessories, and by Aeromotive. We know it, we race it, we live it.
Welcome back to Inside Drag Racing, coming to you from Bristol International Dragway and the K&N Filters Spring Fling, presented by Sparco. Now, who's a racer that might come here that might race for all this money every day? A racer that can move from one car to another, an NHRA Pro Stock champion that's also won in a Hemi shootout, that also can race a door car and a dragster. You got it, folks. Jeg Coughlin Jr. So, Jeg, let me ask you, when you were doing some bracket racing and racing pro stock, were you ever tempted to lift in the pro stocker and let Anderson have the stripe?
Well, I was never going to give the stripe back, that's for sure. But, you know, there's a few times you wouldn't have minded patting the gas a few times before the finish line. But, you know, those pro stock cars are finicky. We run them right on the edge with downforce, and any silly move like that might cause us to get in trouble. So, always had it in mind to maybe pat the gas, but never did.
It's got to be difficult to go from a dragster into a door car, huh?
You know, we've set them up pretty similar. I mean, as similar as you can ergonomically, and electronics-wise, we've got them set up very similar as well. So, you know, I like it. It challenges your disciplines, you know, to be able to hop in different vehicles and focus. And, you know, here we are at the Spring Fling Bristol, and went a bunch of rounds in the wagon last night, and looking to get some good mojo going the rest of the week.
What do you think is the best car? What has the best advantage?
Well, I mean, you know, typically in my bracket racing career, the dragsters have always been of choice. And, you know, we built this wagon in 2006, and I've run it maybe 2 or 3 years since then in total. And it's funny, that's kind of my go-to car right now. So I've been trying to rub on this dragster a little bit, make men's with it or make friends with it or something, because it'd be great. It's a great ride, and you know, the quicker cars typically have the advantage, but you know, the way they kind of segregate, run door cars until you get down to the ladder, which is the round of 16, which in this case would be round 6, and dragsters run with dragsters till round 6 as well. It creates a pretty equal playing field, and by the time everyone gets to the round of 16, it's cutthroat period, so it's game on. So I would say they're almost equally matched nowadays, but I feel a little more comfortable in the wagon.
So take it from Jackie. He says he really kind of likes the dragster as far as the favorite car. Well, let's face it, they're a rear engine. They have no traction problem whatsoever. The door car usually has to leave the line first, giving him a chance to make the first mistake. It also gets the dragster driver a chance to see what kind of light that he cut. By the way, I'm surprised this one isn't painted yellow.
Here we go with the Thursday semifinal round. Irie Hutto out of Jessup, Georgia against Donald Mitchell. 2 door cars, folks. We just talked about them there with Jeggy. Nice 0:11 reaction time for Hutto. He'll get the win on the double breakout. We caught up earlier with Kyle Seipel, the co-promoter of this event, to talk about door cars.
This is the best showing we've ever had here in Bristol with door cars, Ted. This year we have over 120 door cars competing. There's probably multiple reasons for that. Two of those are which Steve Schmidt Racing Engines is giving a $1,000 bonus to any door car that wins any event. We also have the Steve Schmidt door car only shootout. 32 cars, $10,000 to win. No buybacks that are run this evening also. On Tuesday night we had 32 competitors pay $1,000 each. With both finalists winning a dragster, the winner getting the choice of a Race Tech chassis or an American chassis, yes.
And then what is this reaction time challenge?
Reaction time challenge is what my partner Peter came up with. He was at a New York Knicks game and saw a little concept they had there. So tomorrow morning we picked out 20 random drivers. They go down the track about 8 a.m. If they get any 00 reaction time, we pay them $1,000 on the spot. If they go perfect 000 reaction time, they win $1,000, and we have them come back around. If they do it again, we give them $2,000.
Wow. Now, perfect reaction time is 000.
That's correct.
Any other race within a race special competition?
No, we have the Steve Schmidt door car only shootout that's running tonight, and then we had the American Race Tech dragster shootout that ran Tuesday night.
And in addition to that, I understand everybody's going to eat spaghetti.
Oh yeah, Anthony Bertazzi's going to make spaghetti and meatballs tomorrow night. Everybody that's on the property, racers, crew, family, is all going to be invited. Sparko puts it on for everybody, and there's absolutely no charge, and it's going to be a great party.
Here we go with finals on Thursday. Tommy Cable, remember, he was runner-up on Wednesday now against Ari Hutto, who picked up the win on that double breakout earlier. Wow, looks like Cable with the better 0-1-2 reaction time. Get on with a 0 to pick up the win. Look at that ET for Tommy Cable. Time for the ARP Quarter Mile Quiz, brought to you by ARP Automotive Racing Products. This week's question from Brian in Boston wants to know, what is the tire pressure in the front and rear of a Pro Stocker? We'll have the answer after the break. Welcome back to Inside Drag Racing. The answer to this week's ARP Quarter Mile Quiz, NHRA Pro Stock champion Alan Johnson.
You know, the front tires hardly ever touch the ground, but we run about 40 pounds there, a lot of air in the little skinny tires. The rear tires, believe it or not, take a lot less air, usually run from 5.5 to 6.5 pounds.
Now, earlier you met Dunford, who obviously has 6 cars here today, including his own. Here's one of those sponsored cars. Matter of fact, a bit of trivia on this car. It was originally built for former Pro Modified champion Scotty Cannon. Remember the red tomato? Well, when they got this car originally, it was all red. He said the chassis was red, everything was red. Scotty never drove it, even though it's an old sportsman car. But the most interesting thing about this car is its driver. You see, he is 70 years old.
70, and I'll be 71 the 22nd of May.
So you're still out here drag racing?
Yeah, I love it.
One of the Dunford cars?
Yes, one of the Dunford cars, yeah.
How did you happen to get the deal with Dunford?
Well, he comes to Farmington quite often, and I help him out, and he helps me out. And when you can't afford to come, he'll put me in there and push me, you know, push me to the limit.
Okay. What's going to be the dial-in on your car?
It's either going to be a 3 or a 4. 773 or 774.
Now, you know one of the team cars is right back over here.
I know, I ain't scared of him. Well, I run him a couple of 300 or 400 times.
Maybe one of the reasons he picked you is your name is OVERCASH?
Could be, yeah, it might be. Could be. But
Quick item here. About 3 years ago, he broke before the race started. He's never driven a dragster in his life. I put him in my dragster. He went 5 rounds. He lost because his glasses blew up over his head at the finish line.
All right, this story's incredible. Friday, folks, semifinal action. Here comes Jeg Coughlin all the way down to the semis in the door car, the 67 Chevy 2. Foul start by Don Tipton. That's pressure. They go up there. I got to cut a line against Jeg. Yeah, well, the light was too good. Jeg picks up the win. The single will go to Tracy Guffey from Shelbyville, Tennessee. His beautiful 1967 Camaro lifts early and shuts down to an 842.
Now, you know, if they had a long distance award, an award for the most unusual entry, this Vega might get it. What do you say is unusual about a Vega? Look at the name, folks. Carlos Diaz, junior and senior. And where are they from? San Juan, Puerto Rico. You come over here in a container?
Yep, with a 32-foot container.
To race this race?
No, to race in a race 4 years ago in Orlando, Florida. The car have 4 years here in the U.S. We're trying to keep running some supergas races and some bracket races here. That's our point, to try to participate too many races we can during the year.
Who drives the car?
My dad, Carlos Diaz Sr.
And do you ever drive it?
Yep.
So how do you decide who gets to drive?
Bo is a good driver.
So you're the better driver?
No. He's the teacher, I'm the student.
Okay, so are you going to drive in the race this weekend?
Yeah, I raced today and yesterday. My son race tomorrow and Saturday.
So you share the driving?
Yep, you are sharing the seat, the driver's seat.
And take a look at the back of the car. That's a Puerto Rican flag, folks, bearing the colors. What do they say in the back of the car in English? It's easy, it's simple. Just do it.
So we'll do it right now. Friday finals, Jeg Coughlin in that 67 Chevy against Tracy Guffey, who just threw away a perfect 000. So Jeg will lift and shut down. No way I'm going to break out, he says. Picks up the win. Look at the ET. Yeah, he lifted way early.
Just an unbelievable accomplishment. To win a 20 grander here at Spring Flings in Bristol is against some of the best racers in the country. Is a welcome home for me, man. I love bracket racing. Always been my first love, quite honestly. And to get a win against this company today feels huge. And to do it in the wagon, man. I've had a lot of great wins over the years, and only a couple in the wagon. So this one's very special.
Inside Drag Racing has been brought to you by ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology, and by K&N, the world's best air filter, and by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977, and by Sparco, motorsport safety equipment and car accessories.
Welcome back to Inside Drag Racing as we begin to wind up our coverage of the K&N Filter Spring Fling 5-Day presented by Sparco. Well, you may recognize the name on this side of this dragster right here. You remember Cheryl Greer and his Tension Funny car? Well, his son Van Greer also races an ET dragster, but that's not the story and the unusual thing. The unusual thing is the guy that's driving this weekend. Boy, a lot of guys come a long way to watch a drag race. You came here as a spectator.
Yes, I did. Yep.
From
Australia, Melbourne.
Just to watch this race.
Yep, that's me.
Why?
I have a passion that I can't get rid of. I'm just addicted.
You've heard about this race?
Oh, yeah, many times. It's been a dream of mine to come to $1 million race and then a big bracket race, and been looking at it for years, and a few personal circumstances. A week and a half ago when I'm going.
Now, you're not new to this. You've won Australian championships, right?
Yeah, I have 3 Australian championships. I have 2 in a door car and 1 in a dragster, and I'm the current Australian champion at the moment.
So you had to come and see what's so great about these Yanks.
Oh yeah, I've learned a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how did you end up in Van Greer's car?
Well, last night the Jed Nation was putting it up on. I joined his thing on Facebook, and then I was sitting there, and the guy next to me said, well, tell them where you're from. So I did that, and then they said, hey, Shane, come up to the tower. And I didn't want to do that, and then I met a few guys down there, and Jason Rich, and he come and got me, and he took me up into the tower, and the rest, as they say, is history, and these guys have made a dream come true for me. This is just fantastic.
So you get to run in the race?
Yeah, race today, yes. So
And
that's
how's the car performing?
Well, we had a little bit of a problem in the first round, but in the first qualifier, but yeah, it's good now. So we worked out the bugs, and hopefully I'm good.
Take some of this yank money back to Australia.
Oh my God, that'd be good.
So that'll take us to the semifinals. Brad Jeter and Dave Brodsky. Jeter, you don't suppose? No, I don't think so. Boy, almost equal reaction time off the starting line, but it looks like Jeter will pick up the win running a 52 on a 51. Brodsky was off a 6:02 on a 5:99. And the other pair, Steve Witherow from Summerduck, Virginia, going against Shane Carr out of Florida. 0-0-4 for Witherow. That's all it took. Carr slow with a 0-2-4. Witherow will go to the final.
We have enough time just for one more interview here on Inside Drag Racing. Before we get to the finals, we got to catch up with 7-time NHRA World Champion, I don't know how many national event wins, Peter Biondo. Peter, you guys pay a lot of money out here. Tell me about the purse this year.
Here at Bristol, we pay 15 grand guaranteed on Wednesday, 20 grand on Thursday, 20 grand on Friday, 20 grand on Saturday to the winners.
Now you also had some racing though prior to that, right?
We did. We crowned 2 champions on Tuesday actually. Robert Domino won a Race Tech dragster and Gary Williams won an American dragster.
So it's truly a 5-day event with racing.
Absolutely. There's a lot of action, a lot of prizes, and a lot of money to be won here, Ted.
20 grand every year for how many years you've been doing this?
This is year number 6.
No more money than, come on, 20 grand?
Ted, if that's not good enough for you, come out to Vegas in 2016. The Spring Fling Million. We're potentially paying $1 million to the winner on Saturday. If we get 550 cars out there, we will pay $1 million to the winner.
Wow, that's impressive. Now, what if you don't get 550 cars?
Regardless of the car count, let's assume we have a very low car count, Ted. We're still going to guarantee 100,000 to the winner and 50,000 to the runner-up. But the beauty of the whole deal is, as the car count goes up, so does the winner's purse.
So it starts at 100,000 and goes up from there?
Goes up from there. And the ceiling is $1 million.
Wow, now that's impressive.
We're looking forward to it.
We interviewed the guy that came all the way from Australia to watch this, and he managed to get a ride in a guest car, Van Greer's car. And we looked down, he had a Biondo delay box. You have those in Australia? Is he familiar with that?
We actually do ship quite a few delay boxes to Australia. Fire suits and delay boxes, I'd say 3 to 4 packages a week to Australia. That's pretty cool.
Yes, indeed it is. Peter Biondo, incredible legend in sportsman drag racing. Here's the Saturday final. Brad Jeter out of South Carolina against Steve Witherow, a pair of diggers. 0-0-2. Look at the reaction time for Jeter. Dead on with a 5. He picks up the win on the final day. Coming up next week on Inside Drag Racing, Outlaw Pro Modifieds from Virginia. Be sure and check us out on Facebook. I'm Ted Jones. So long, everyone.